Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Aquatics. Today we're going to be doing a few things. We're mainly going to be focusing on the pond outside. We are going to be shutting it down for the winter, getting it ready to endure the cold weather. So there's a bunch of stuff we got to do with that, but then we're also going to do some updates down here in the fish room. I'm going to show you guys a few things. I do also have some bad news. You guys will hear about that later in the video. But yeah, basically what we need to do to the pond is clean it out. There's a ton of leaves in it right now. Need to clean out the skimmer as well, so we just want to get all the leaves out of there. Then after that, we're actually going to turn off the pump and take it out, because whenever the water starts freezing, it can like damage the pump if the pump gets frozen. So we are going to be taking the pump out and we're going to be replacing it with either a pond de-icer or like an aerator, just something that'll like keep a hole in the ice whenever the pond eventually does freeze over. Have not decided if I'm going with a de-icer or an aerator yet. I'm going to talk to someone at the fish store I'm going to. Then also at that fish store I'm talking about, we are going to get a giant pond net to go over the entire pond, just to prevent any other leaves or anything else from falling into the pond over the winter. Literally today in this video, we are getting the pond ready to the point where we aren't even going to touch it until next spring whenever we start it back up. So with all that being said, there are a few things I need to pick up from the stores, being the pond netting, the de-icer, or the aerator. And I'm also going to run over to Lowe's to get a pool net, which I'll use to like reach into the pond and grab all the leaves out. And I think that's everything. So now we're going to head over to those stores and get everything we need. All right guys, so I just pulled up to Lowe's. We're going to head in there in a second to look for a pool net. I already stopped at the local fish store / local pond store and got our netting. There it is right there, 15 by 20 foot pond netting. Then I also got a couple of like air stones. I have a pump at home that I think will be strong enough. Not exactly sure on that. If it's not strong enough, then we'll just go get a new pump. But yeah, like I said, now we're gonna head into Lowe's and pick up a new pool net. All right guys, so we are here at Lowe's in the pond section, and I'm looking at all the nets over here, and I'm thinking this is gonna be our best option. Super cheap, only $9, and it's got a 4-foot pole. So this is what we're gonna go with. I'm gonna go check out, and then we'll be on our way home. Alrighty guys, so we are back from the stores, and we are out here at the pond. And the very first thing I wanna do is actually get all the aquatic plants out of the pond. Just get them out of the way. We definitely wanna keep those for now, but we do have to get them out of the way to get the leaves out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these plants. Alrighty guys, so I got all those plants out of the pond, and I mean, just look at how many there are. I remember a few months ago I bought like 5 or 6 of these plants, and they just took over the pond, which is exactly what I wanted. Like, that's awesome. So you can see they are all out of the pond, and what I'm gonna do now is go in with my new net and just scoop out as many of these leaves as I can. Alrighty guys, so here's where we're at. Basically, I got a bunch of leaves out of the pond. You can see a pretty big pile right there. We definitely got a lot of them out. Did not get everything, but that's okay. Like, it's good enough for now. We can worry about that next year whenever we do our spring cleaning. You can see some of our fish right down there, and then the other ones are over there. You can see they're all like not even moving. That's because they're like just about into their hibernation state. I don't know exactly what it's called, but they pretty much just kind of chill out all winter. They don't really move. They don't use any energy, and that is why you stop feeding them in the winter as well. But yeah, got most of the leaves out, and now we are going to investigate this air pump. This is one of my aquarium air pumps. I doubt it's going to be strong enough now that I'm looking at it, but I went ahead and got that hooked up to our 2 like air stone balls that we got, and I'm gonna go right ahead and plug that in and see how powerful it is. So there we go, and yeah, that's pretty weak. I mean, it'll do for now. Like, we definitely have time to go get a stronger air pump, but yeah, we should definitely upgrade that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these air stones into like their final position for now. The guy at the fish store said to have them kind of close together so that they can form like one big hole in the ice when this does freeze over. And he said it's way better to go with an aerator instead of a de-icer. He said that you could run these aerators for like an entire year before it uses the same amount of electricity as the de-icer for 1 week. So this is gonna be a lot more energy efficient, and it pretty much does the same job regarding to like keeping a hole in the ice for the fish when it freezes over. So I think this is just about what we're going to go with for now. Like I said, eventually we're going to upgrade that air pump so that the airflow will be stronger. But now I am going to throw some of these plants back in here and back into the mini pond. Alrighty guys, so it's starting to get dark out, so we got to go kind of quick, but all the plants are back into the main pond and mini pond. I'm not sure how long those are going to survive. I can't really remember if they're like year long or if they're tropical, so I guess we'll just find out if they're alive here in a few weeks. But I also went ahead and pulled out the pump and skimmer, as you can see down there. Again, we don't want either of those getting damaged whenever the water starts freezing, so we got them out of there. And now the last thing we need to do is just get this net on there. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and get that handled. Alrighty guys, so we are back inside, obviously, and we did get that netting over the pond. I'll be rolling a clip of that right now as I'm talking. And if I have time tomorrow, I'm gonna like trim up the edges so it's all nice and clean. And yeah, with that, the pond is ready to go for the winter. I do still, like I said, want to upgrade that air pump so there's like more airflow coming out of those stones. But we are good to go for now. And now, as promised at the beginning of this video, we are gonna do some updates down here in the fish room. And I guess I'll just start off with the bad news. So about a week ago, week and a half maybe, I came down here to the fish room to feed all the animals, and I fed everything on this side, worked my way all the way over, and then I looked at the turtle tub, and unfortunately we did lose a turtle. I'm talking about Timmy, the baby Reeves turtle. I looked in there and I saw Timmy upside down, and I got him out and he was dead. And I mean, I don't really know what the cause of it could be. He was eating fine leading up to it. He was acting completely normal as well. So part of me wants to say that Timmy drowned, because there is a little cave in the turtle tub. I'll actually show you guys. You can see we got the wood going this way and then this stone leaning on it, and it forms a cave under there. But then also you can see exactly where Toby is hanging out right now. There's a little gap between the wood and the side of the tub, and that was Timmy's main hangout spot. He always tucked himself up into that little crevice, and he always could get in and out of there easily. But I think that something happened where Timmy got himself lodged into that gap where he usually stays, and he just couldn't get out and he drowned, because when I found him he was upside down right there. So of course that is a major bummer. I just wanted to let you guys know this is what we do on this channel. Something dies, I let you guys know. Yeah, so RIP Timmy. But I don't want to dwell on that too much. We're just going to try and move on. So we're going to talk about some super exciting plans here in the fish room. Obviously, I mean, if you guys saw the last video, I set up this 40-gallon turtle tank, and I used pond foam as the basking area and had a bunch of rocks on top of it. And whenever I filled it up with water, the foam flipped over and just messed up the entire tank. You guys can obviously watch that video if you want to, but we are still going to be making this 40-gallon tank into a turtle tank, and that will be one of my next videos. We're going to be doing that very soon, because again, I want to get the turtles out of that tub, especially now after Timmy died. I want to get them out of there. So turtle tank coming very soon. Also, we're going to be moving those baby cichlids into the 55-gallon. And we're actually getting a new cichlid. It's a cichlid that I've wanted for a very long time, and I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. You'll have to wait for that video, but we are going to be getting a new, very cool cichlid. And then once we get those guys into the 55, we are going to be setting up a new tank under the 125-gallon tank. It is going to be a bait tank. I love feeding my fish and my turtles live fish. It's fun to watch them hunt them down like they're in the wild, and it's also very good for them. It's a natural source of protein, and I want to do more live feedings. So I figure I would just set up a bait tank under the 125. The guppies in there can breed, and they can just create like an unlimited source of food for my fish. So that will be coming soon as well. And you know what, I'm just gonna stop now. I don't want to spill too many of my plans. You guys will just have to stay tuned. And to close this video out, we're gonna do a couple feedings. First of all, Frankie, the African clawed frog, he is back on that worm diet, so we're gonna drop that on in. Oh, he just kicked it. There he goes, he got it. And just watch him devour that worm, and boom, gone. Next up, I'm gonna drop in some pellets for Pluto the flower horn and watch him munch away. And man, my boy is getting big. I mean, look at him. And then lastly, we'll just throw in some flakes for the baby cichlids and the community fish. And there we go. You guys always love your updates on the baby cichlids. There they are. Still just growing like crazy. You can also see that I put in that hornwort plant that I had in the turtle tank before it got destroyed. And yeah, it looks really good in there. Super tall, fills up a lot of the tank. And yeah, all the baby cichlids are munching. But yeah, can't forget about our Buenos Aires tetras and angelfish, and there they all go. So that is gonna wrap up this video, and today's comment of the day goes out to. And if you want your comment to be the comment of the day in the next video, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below, and that could happen. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.